Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
The act of having and controlling property. The relation of an owner to the thing possessed. Possession with the right to transfer possession to others. The state or fact of being an owner. The trait of resolutely controlling your own behavior. The act of having and controlling property. A mania restricted to one thing or idea. Anything owned or possessed. A territory that is controlled by a ruling state. Being controlled by passion or the supernatural. Sport. The act of controlling the ball, or puck. They took possession of the ball on their own goal line. Handle and cause to function. Control the lever. Exercise authoritative control or power over. Control the budget. Lessen the intensity of. Temper. Hold in restraint. Hold or keep within limits. Control your anger. A standard against which other conditions can be compared in a scientific experiment. The control condition was inappropriate for the conclusions he wished to draw. Place under restrictions. Limit access to by law. This substance is controlled. Discipline in personal and social activities. She never lost control of herself. Be careful or certain to do something. Make certain of something. Control the quality of the product. Maintain influence over others or oneself, skillfully, usually to one's advantage. She is a very controlling mother and doesn't let her children grow up. The state that exists when one person or group has power over another. Check or regulate. A scientific experiment, by conducting a parallel experiment or comparing with another standard. Are you controlling for the temperature? Great skillfulness and knowledge of some subject or activity. A mechanism that controls the operation of a machine. The speed controller on his turntable was not working properly. Have a firm understanding or knowledge of. Be on top of. Do you control these data? A relation of constraint of one entity, thing or person or group, by another. Measures for the control of disease. A spiritual agency that is assumed to assist the medium during a séance. Physiology. Regulation or maintenance of a function or action or reflex, etc. The timing and control of his movements were unimpaired. Power to direct or determine. Under control. The activity of managing or exerting control over something. The control of the mob by the police was admirable. The economic policy of controlling or limiting or curbing prices or wages, etc. They wanted to repeal all the legislation that imposed economic controls. Verify by using a duplicate register for comparison. Control an account. Law. The principle that an act done at a later time is deemed by law to have occurred at an earlier time. His attorney argued for the relation back of the amended complaint to the time the initial complaint was filed. Sexual activity between individuals, especially the insertion of a man's penis into a woman's vagina until orgasm and ejaculation occur. A person related by blood or marriage. He has distant relations back in New Jersey. An act of narration. He was the hero according to his own relation. An abstraction belonging to or characteristic of two entities or parts together. usually plural, mutual dealings or connections among persons or groups. International relations. Indicate through a symbol, formula, etc. The territory occupied by a nation. A politically organized body of people under a single government. The state has elected a new president. Chemistry. The three traditional states of matter are solids, fixed shape and volume, and liquids, fixed volume and shaped by the container, and gases, filling the container. The solid state of water is called ice. The territory occupied by one of the constituent administrative districts of a nation. His state is in the deep south. Put before. The federal department in the United States that sets and maintains foreign policies. Express in words. State your opinion. A state of depression or agitation. He was in such a state you just couldn't reason with him. The group of people comprising the government of a sovereign state. The state has lowered its income tax. The way something is with respect to its main attributes. The current state of knowledge. Law. Possession for which criminal sanctions are provided because the property may not lawfully be possessed or may not be possessed under certain circumstances. Law. Having the power and intention to have and control property but without direct control or actual presence upon it. The act of retaining something. Something owned. Any tangible or intangible possession that is owned by someone. The power of retaining and recalling past experience. The power of retaining liquid. The act of retaining something. The responsibility of a guardian or keeper. He left his car in my keeping. The act of retaining something. Conformity or harmony. His behavior was not in keeping with the occasion. Law. Immediate and direct physical control over property. A specific number of stocks or shares owned. Ownership of stocks. The state or fact of holding stock. Prohibition of unrestricted intercorporate stockholding. A district where people live, occupied primarily by private residences. Agreement as to goals. The preachers and the bootleggers found they had a community of interests. Ecology. A group of interdependent organisms inhabiting the same region and interacting with each other. A group of nations having common interests. They hope to join the NATO community. A group of people having a religion, ethnic, profession, or other particular characteristic in common. He was well known throughout the Catholic community. A group of people living in a particular local area. The team is drawn from all parts of the community. Common ownership. They shared a community of possessions. Ownership of a business by the people who work for it. A holding in the form of land. Ownership of land. The state or fact of owning land. The legal right of ownership. An unincorporated business owned by a single person who is responsible for its liabilities and entitled to its profits. Protected by trademark or patent or copyright. Made or produced or distributed by one having exclusive rights. Tylenol is a proprietary drug of which acetaminophen is the generic form. An unincorporated business owned by a single person who is responsible for its liabilities and entitled to its profits. The state of being several and distinct. Exclusive individual ownership.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.